Based on the great new book uncovering mindfulness in search of a life more meaningful, we bring you a new series of podcasts called From Mindfulness with Love by Paul Mudd, the author. Here's today's podcast. We hope you enjoy.
Are you in search of a life more meaningful? Welcome to the podcast that takes you from mindful to mindful. Leadership, resilience, compassion, success. Join the journey. From Mindfulness with Love, here's your host, Paul Mudd.
Have you heard of Secret Business Mondays, a new mindful business drop-in? One might be happening just round the corner from you right now. Or did you know that mindfulness has reached cult-like status in the business world, being described as the new secret weapon in the boardroom, able to give business chiefs greater oomph and ramping up company profits? This is all according to recent reports in the UK's Sunday Times business section and a raft of new research. Hello and welcome to today's new podcast, which takes a look at mindfulness and business. Quite simply, mindfulness is not about zoning out, but zooming in. It's paying attention to the present moment and decluttering the brain to make room for creativity. And in business, that means boosting the bottom line. Mindfulness makes business better from the inside out because it puts the heart back into the workplace. It gets people talking about stuff that is human and relatable. And do you know what? People do business with people. Perhaps that's why hedge funds and banks, public transport, distillers, insurance, and high-tech online and social media companies like Adobe, Apple, eBay, Facebook, LinkedIn and Twitter are all embracing it. But if you ask me, there's more to it than that. We live and work in an age that is in constant motion and commotion, and on the constant edge of change, if not chaos. Nothing particularly new there, though. In the 1980s, Tom Peters was telling us we were thriving on chaos, whilst a few years before that, in the late 1970s, John Kotter and Leonard Schlesinger wrote in their book Strategies for Change that organisations experience some form of change at least once a year and a major upheaval every 5 years. And if anything, with increasing financial, legislative, technical, political and environmental pressures, to name but 5, the pace of change has, if anything, rather picked up over the following 37 plus years. Indeed, the problems for employers, management and workplace performance that we now have are all borne out by this. For instance, 105 million days per annum are lost through stress to UK businesses alone. The cost of this to employers is put at a conservative £1.24 billion each year, whilst the overall cost to the UK economy is some £23 billion every 12 months. And some commentators are saying that in fact the cost of all mental health problems in the UK is a staggering £100 billion per annum. There is an increasing recognition amongst employers that a high stress and non-supportive working environment can have a highly toxic impact, not just on performance and productivity, but on labour costs as well. In companies and organisations where mindfulness programs have been introduced, and these can be as far apart as Transport for London on the one hand and the US Army on the other, or Goldman Sachs and Carlsberg. The results, though, have all been pretty staggering. For instance, 88% of participants from one multinational insurance company reported improved concentration, greater creativity and higher productivity, following a mindfulness training program. 147% higher earnings per share were reported in another multinational business through greater employee engagement and enhanced client and employee relationships, all due to the introduction of a mindfulness program. A 71% fall in days taken for anxiety, stress and depression were reported in a major UK transport company, and a 7% fall in healthcare costs followed the introduction of a 12-week mindfulness program for employees in a US company employing over 47,000 people. These are hard-nosed figures and just the tip of a mighty iceberg. More generally, though, following the introduction of mindfulness programs, we're talking about a workforce with increased mental and physical resilience, with improved sleeping patterns, with marked reductions in overall stress and feelings of being overwhelmed. A workforce that can make better decisions and has greater tolerance, and a workplace that experiences less conflict. I think this all adds up to a pretty compelling case for why even the most hard-nosed business, large or small, local, regional, national, international, should be taking a look at what mindfulness is and how they can introduce it into the workplace. And this might be through lunchtime taster sessions, encouraging staff to stop multitasking and rather to focus on doing just one thing at a time, and even suggesting that employees have regular screen breaks or time away from the shop floor. To start with, it can be as simple as having a daily mindful coffee break, where you begin with a deep breath and take a few moments to notice where you are and how your body feels, and then how you feel, taking note of the thoughts passing through your mind. Then, as you hold your drink, allowing yourself to feel the sensation of the cup, the shape, the surface texture, the touch as it fits in your hand, and the warmth. The smell of the coffee steaming within, then the taste, the memories of experiences past and the present moment experience. Remembering if your mind wanders, that's okay. Just gently bring it back whilst you sip, savour and enjoy. Or what about having a pre-presentation or pre-meeting mindful stretch where in a quiet place you simply stand up straight and open up your chest. Then with your feet at hip distance apart, lift your hands in the air with palms facing forward and take some deep breaths as you enjoy the sensations of the open body posture and the feel of release as you stretch your body, remembering in the words of James Brown, what it is what it is. He called it Mind Power, and if you like it funky, check out his album The Payback. And if you want some more top tips on mindful living for both at home and in the workplace, do check out podcast number 6 in this series. My book, Uncovering Mindfulness in Search of a Life More Meaningful, which is available on Amazon, has more suggestions and some short and simple exercises you can start to do today that will begin to make a real difference that you'll really notice. Whilst if you want to follow the continuing journey Uncovering Mindfulness on Twitter, you can do so at The Mindful Book, and that's capital T, capital M, capital B, and also look out for the hashtag mindfulness and a cup of coffee. If you want to get in touch direct, you can always email me at paul@themudpartnership.co.uk, and that's all lowercase and mud with 2 Ds. I'd love to hear from you. So, until the next time, be mindful. Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and leave a review. We want your feedback. Help us support your journey uncovering mindfulness in search of a life more meaningful. From Mindfulness with Love, we'll catch you next time.